Alright, we're back. For the moment, there doesn't seem to be any issues. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there aren't any. Okay. That looks about right. Okay. Yeah. So, this is the first recording after 1.10 came out. We're still on 1.9, I reverted back to that. And I did have, thankfully, local copies. Well, I did copy a backup of the various mods before that came out, so which is a good thing because it's been a few days. I mean, we're still on 1.10.2 and people have realized that, oh hey, there's a massive bug with acceptance. So you only accept your primary culture. Well, okay, maybe not that, but heritage and whatnot did not work very well in the first place. Because it's only the most recently added primary culture that works. There's the bug. The other one was one I remember from a mod. But yeah. The game has seen better days plenty of times. But it's a Paradox game. The updates are always really, really silly with how effective they actually are. But yes, I've also done some minor adjustments to the decolonization events to copy and paste something from Tunisia, where I'm not 100%, I don't 100% like it. Okay, so we have advanced the growth stage 5. I don't 100% like it because it doesn't seem 100% great, but it's better than with the other options. Basically, it has so that if the country is considered to be from the Americas, Europe, or the Middle East, decolonization events will trigger, otherwise they won't. I don't really like this, because what about Asian imperialism and all that? But it makes sense for, say, Sudan in a sort of pan-African sense. And I guess here as well. Because these had it so that unless you had Maghrebi as a culture or their local culture, Amazigh. Yeah. So even if you were like Arabia with a sort of pan-Arabianism, because you weren't Maghrebi, that wouldn't count. I've adjusted things so that's a little bit better and a little more convenient for me too, admittedly. Because I need to get my infamy down and that was not helping. At the very least, since I'm on dev politics now, it's not, there's not much I can do about it anyway. Plus elected officers works differently, so... Financial deregulation. Woo! Yes. I am not doing I'm not doing directed research because I've gotten so many buffs to tech spread that now it's actually better to have the innovation happen automatically. To just convert the innovation to tech spread by not researching anything. Sure, I can't control it in any way, but I have to get all of it anyway. Probably. There are penalties to not doing all of them. So I might as well leave it be. There is also the oddity that movements are mixing between regular movements from vanilla and modded movements from BPM. It probably had to do with a BPM update, but I'm not sure. I mean, the game was already a bit borked from the start anyway, thanks to that 1838 socialist revolution in England, which is not supposed to happen, but it happened anyway. Anyway, what is using these? Oh, Luzon's using these. Okay. I mean, yeah, I need to produce wait, am I already producing... Do I have the processors plant up? The chip foundries are up. Good. Okay. These are vital. In fact, I can start building up an aeronautics industry with a focus on space assets now, in order to produce even more telecoms. Let me just pick a location that has a reasonable amount of space. This is a good one. I don't need that many space assets. I just need to find one. Okay. That does mean I can't produce aeroplanes, but that's fine. I just need space assets. I've also been building up universities because I've got so much excess money that I might as well invest it into something. And more construction, well, is a great idea, but... Don't crash, don't crash. Okay. The game is not stable anymore. Not that stable. It's not crash every episode, but it is a bit crash every third episode. So I'm very wary of when the game freezes up. I'm still enjoying this though. I'm still greatly enjoying this. Which is why I won't stop for a while. Plus I've hit Great Power Rank 5, so that's great. I'm just behind India, and I'm neck and neck with Japan. I'm ahead of Austria-Hungary. Remember, it's 1.9, so... Austria-Hungary is both more stable and has less potential than usual. Welfare is going up, though. Part of the problem... Well, okay, it's no longer... employed people, too. It is just unemployed people. Because my minimum wage is higher than my welfare payments, because if you don't have enough wage money, you also get welfare. And the problem is this mix of... well... it's the 1.9 problem of dividends. Co-ops do not redirect dividends back to their workforce. Okay. I produced a lot of business data, so I may as well... Have I already used up all of it? No. Would be smart to do so, though. That would get me more infrastructure, which would be useful. I'm surprised some of these are actually working effectively, considering how I'm not producing any. Rare earths, which are a necessary component to that. Yes, I'm well aware that productivity of those are bad. It's partially my fault. It is odd that the hydroponic farms can't do the data processing stuff, but that's fine. Okay, that's a spike in usage, but probably not as enough to offset the fact that... oh, okay, it definitely is enough. set up some more offices. How much more do I need? Production-wise? 1.7k. That is... okay, let's just do 30 levels because business data is both cheap and effective. But yes, I do want to set up an aerospace industry with space assets. Space assets would be real good. How did I miss the entertainment areas? Like, how did I miss those? And the uranium mines, too. I actually need plenty of uranium. %. Oh, okay. It's because I'm importing some of them now. Fine by me. Maybe? Okay, so Akali's mining this stuff. Because they only have so many people. Mathematical finance, more minting money. Plus greater maximum cash reserves. Could definitely use the more minting money. That's far from my largest source of income since I've already capped out a GDP gain. Well, gains from GDP. And Korea went socialist, huh? Yep, syndicalist. Oh yes, seawater desalination. Excellent. I can have my ports produce seawater now. Water. This will dramatically help things. It won't bring the water down, but... oh boy. Of course, there might be electricity shortages in a couple locations, but... well, not shortages. It depends on the location, honestly. Some places just don't have good electricity access. I may need to think about conveyor belt stuff. But yeah, sports should become much more productive now that they have water to produce. Oh yes, look at that. It's almost as much as the merchant marine. And once I get aqua farm systems, eventually, it's going to be even more productive. Not by a huge amount, but, well, the goods consumed aren't that notable. Anyway, I should also upgrade my military. At the very least, go from modern to advanced. This just changes out an electronic component with a processor, increasing offense by 10 and defense by a sizable 15. It also lowers devastation slightly, but it's the exact reason why I built the processor plants and I was waiting on the chip foundries to be unlocked. Later ones do require rare earths, but I've got quite a few mine sources for it. And I've got Akali inside of my trade league, so... computer shortage. Oh no, what's using computers? Aerospace industries. Oh, that's right. Right. Yeah, this uses computers. I don't have those. Satellites it is. Just got research anyway. Oh, I'm down in Militech. Cool. I think the public works is done. Yeah. Let's fix that. It's fine if I have a deficit for a while. Though I will adjust things as need be. Yeah, I need to be careful with uranium. I only produce so much of it. I'm no longer exporting it. I'm actually starting to import it. I may need to start swapping back to using gas fire, at least in a couple locations. Definitely need to think about renewables. Renewables would be very helpful. More tech spread. Lovely. I don't know the company slot too. There it is. So next. It is so strange that railways are one of the most productive things. So strange. I already have a specific equivalent. Where's the lumber? Yeah. No. Here. Because they also get ports. So I'm skipping the lumber industry. I can't actually do this. I don't have the DLC that allows me to do that stuff. I'd rather avoid single industry stuff, but... State electricity. Let me guess, communist? Yeah. Right, that's gonna help set things up. I'm just glad the advanced store stuff is working. So a huge amount of purchases are for the trade center, from the trade center. Which is an indication, if there ever was any, that I really should build this up, but it does not seem that there's an actual issue there. Don't produce enough bauxite? Upgrade the production methods. Sokoto, Oh. I thought I was constructing... No, someone else is constructing this. Right, I gave them a bauxite mine. Still people moving in, surprisingly. Guess that means it's reasonable to build a geothermal power plant here. Okay, I still need immense amounts of plastic. There's no petrochemical industry here. Okay. Sadly, the natural gas rigs here are already maxed out. So I can't push it any harder. Apparently develop was just too pedestrian. Does that give me an extra company? There we go. Mara's now in the power block. Modern transportation. Post-war vehicles. Ooh. That should help with the automobile industry. As the game loads that. But yes, there was a bauxite shortage, fortunately there. Or at least, not as much bauxite. Also have to diesel pump. But yes, it allows me to use less transportation, but also automobiles in order to get a little bit more, squeeze out a little bit more labor reduction. I'm personally not particularly interested though. Where's the automobiles? There. Post-war vehicles. Let's see here. Uses 5 dyes, replaces the 10 alloys with 10 aluminum, and uses 5 more engines to produce 10 more automobiles. Sure, let's go with that. I can swap to 3rd generation tanks. I don't think I need more tank usage though. Has my military finished upgrading yet? Probably. Okay. That means I can start going in and replacing the modern heavy tanks with MBTs. Same amount of attack, but stronger defense. And there is also no slowdown from them. It is to some degree a gradual process though. See, it is nice to see that these populations are filling in, though. It should no longer be as much of a problem to get these oil rigs filled up in order to export as much oil as possible. Same with here. Private construction queue is certainly doing a good job. And there's more natural gas here for me to exploit, too. I don't need it as much, especially since there's still a massive reserve in Eritrea. Although I have exploited a large quantity of the available resources when it comes to natural gas. Not as thoroughly as I have with oil. With oil, I definitely have everything. Which is not a good thing, that's for sure. The one good thing about Dove politics is that it does give me a lot of ability to improve relations. Making it much easier for me to get people into the power block, if I so choose. More university throughput, excellent. Law enforcement, okay. Yeah, the communists are the only ones that I can use, sadly. And the only thing I can do about it is try to finagle the government. The problem is they're occupying about the same position as the aristocrats did. Also problematic. Yeah. That's why the unions are part of the Communist Party. What? Huh? Why? Okay. Independent executive, state power, institutional state. Okay. Let's see. Where's that's a chip foundries. There are the electronic components industry. Assembly lines, automatic printed circuit board. Nano transistor, integrated transistor. Not interested. I produce enough electronic components as it is. That should handle some of the welfare issue. This place could also use some more employment, so... That's not what I was aiming for. Where's the petrochemicals? There they are. Always a good choice. I could really use synth rubber, but I could also really use... plastics, but not nearly as much as the synth rubber. Alrighty then. Synth rubber it is. I think it might be time, yeah. I guess permanent member then. Because I'm a great player. In fact, number 3 at the moment. So is there anything special about the UN? Any special mechanics? Pucks, delimitations. Doesn't seem to be anything actually specific. Neuroscience next. Ooh, reduce mortality. Nice. I can't wait for the counterculture since it's going to get me. Yeah. Neo-feminism. Like that. Yes, I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, once I get counterculture, I can grab this and start using my urban centers to produce various resources. Right now, I only have access to steel recycling, which isn't that helpful, but it will get me something, at least. Because most of the urban centers are just hemorrhaging money. No way around it. Simply not enough money production. Okay, how much? Wait, do I have a pharmaceutical? Oh, yeah, I already have a pretty big pharmaceutical industry here. Let's expand it then. But not here. Okay. Next is color TV. Which allow me to make more televisions, at least in the consumer electronics industries that I have set up to produce those. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. 5 more telecoms, 10 more prints to produce 15 more TVs at the cost of 5 consumer electronics. Oh, yes. Oh, home appliances. Gondor asks for more. And I shall answer. What's going on? I'll have to wait and see. If they're willing to transfer a state, sure. I will help East Africa, not that they actually need the help, unless someone decides to assist them. Maybe Austria-Hungary? Peru's a pushover, though. Too low, okay. Oh, there's electricity shortages? Great. Welcome to the power block. Iraq would join. With an obligation. Nah. Mid-post-industrial. Yeah, there doesn't even electricity shortages in South Cameroon. Sadly, I still can't build renewable, so... Yeah, I need to swap some to gas production. Well, this is being worked on. Indubitably. What was the last one? Darfur. Huh? It's a bit more on. Why am I still using a oil fire? Use HFO fuel. I mean, sure. I ought to swap this to gas at some point, but... There. That should match the requirements of the region. It's probably the 50-pound chemical industries. Yeah. Easily. Every state is producing plastics. Get with the program. Oh, I'm getting MSI people. Apparently from Tunisia. Second there. It looked like it was ready to crash again. Wonder if they're willing to sell their states. No, definitely not. There. I can now build the renewable power plants. I still can't produce the rare earth necessary for it, but at the very least it's another potential source of electricity that doesn't rely on fossil fuels or limited uranium. Anyway, I've been wondering. What's happened to the food industries? The price of sugar's been spiking lately. Well, anyway, I can start... Who's been building this up? Who decided it would be a great idea to build 91 levels of telecoms? Okay, let's swap everything else to the satellite network to start using those space assets. Giving me a good reason to produce more. Beyond the IVS, of course. Does mean I can turn on satellite support. No, right, I need computers. So that tea's ready. Arms, 185. Minus 200 from them, disallowing trade. Oh. You need to get out of isolationism. How can you call yourself a council republic if you have no workers' rights and child labor allowed? And illegal unions. That's actually worse than it was before. Okay. No then. Hmm? Oh. Advanced electric arc process. Should deal with some of the steel production issues. And make aluminum much, much better. Problem is I need to go by these one by one in order to ensure that I do the correct one each time. I might have issues with overproduction of alloys, but not so much aluminum. Aluminum I could still use more of. In fact, I could start setting up these bauxite mines here. Could be very useful. Time to look at steel production. Oh, and I can also swap to using these. Problem is I don't produce nearly enough robotics for that to be a good idea. Plastics is fine, if somewhat annoying. It's just that robotics don't have that many uses yet. Budget is not exactly hemorrhaging money yet, at least. But this is something that needs to be done as a process rather than instantaneously. Sadly. Although that is definitely okay, maybe not overstating how much the cost will change. Modern statistics, that should help with taxation issues. Because I haven't looked at a lot of things. Okay, offices can also be made more efficient. I don't have computers, nor do I have software. So, come on, production tech, give me my computers. They're there. Okay. So what's next on social tech? Neoliberalism? Yep. Great. But yeah, you can see how ludicrously efficient my tech spread is here. I've got 1,000 in 1 week. I may have overbuilt universities a bit, but 2.5k, more than 2.5k in uncapped innovation production. Oh yes. Nothing to sneeze at. Congolene rainforest. Yep. I'm below the gold reserve limit, yet still not the case. It's gonna take a while longer for that to be true. Oh boy, sulfur is becoming ludicrously expensive. Advanced mining systems will eventually become a thing, but that's... Well, at least someone's colonizing Zululand, so I can finally stop looking at the last decolonized country on the map. Presumably, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Unless there's some part of Polynesia that I haven't been paying attention to. Oh, he's at least in... Oh, jeez. Look at the chaos over here. Individual islands split apart like this. Huh? Oh, Siam. No, Bahrain would be willing to join. Fuel cell. I can now use the alkaline fuel cell, which should at least somewhat lower my reliance on sulfur. Battery plants are down. Oh, it's an extra set of production. Okay. It's fuel cells. Well, I should focus on doing the smaller ones. Swapping the smaller ones over to fuel cells. It's not a alternative. It's just another production possibility. Of course, 3 years is still a long time. It's a number 3 ranking from me being number 3 that's helping. Oh boy, that's an interesting mix of effects. Oh yeah, railroads, it just makes sense. Might as well give the low productivity ones trade rights. It might help. I don't know. Well, not low productivity, but low prosperity is more so the correct set of terms to use in this case. Keep building up that foreign affairs institution. The only reason not to max out every institution is because some institutions have side effects that I don't like. Like this lowers target political rigidity, which is not something I can make good use of. At all. It's part of the reason why I'm waiting for the opportunity to move to anarchy. Since the target political rigidity actually doesn't decrease as much compared to universal suffrage with any level of institution investment. It's only -5 from anarchy. It's -5 per level from universal suffrage. Sadly, the only group that's willing to take this is the anarcho-syndicalists. And they don't have nearly enough sway for this to become a possibility. The communists would just say no. They're party socialists. Which means it's not as hard as it might seem. But it's still plenty difficult. They don't like this shift. And the anarchist movement no longer has a proper ability to do anything about it, so. I have a truce with Egypt. I'm sorry, I would love to help, but I can't. Oh, late progressive ideologies have hit. Some groups may have neoliberal interests. Specifically, neoliberal progressist. But most importantly, I've got the rare earths mine unlocked, which is excellent. Sadly, I can't use explosives, and I must use advanced purification methods if I want to do anything like that. Oh, but I definitely should have manual data optimization on. Just for the extra throughput. But rare earths are rare. Being able to exploit them is incredible. That's helpful. Okay, this location definitely does not need the infrastructure, so I think I might just turn it off to Anchorage. Yeah, now it just becomes a water source. Sadly, there's no economy of scale, but that just means that there's no reason not to build this up to thousands of levels. Maybe not thousands, but definitely hundreds. I'm gonna start clicking on that till I see how many it... Let's not go overboard. 200 levels sounds good. Networking protocols. I would need computers and software for that. Oh, finally, counterculture spreading. Right when it was the only option. No, that's a increased infamy generation. Horizontal drilling will be next. Excellent. I could desperately use more oil production. A 35% increase is actually going to potentially cause some fun stuff to occur. Points use. Huh. What? When would this use oil? At any point. Oh, advanced alloys technique. Oh, okay, that explains some of the alloy production. So many issues. Has that been built yet? Subsidize. Horizontal drilling. That's a lot of electricity consumption. But I think I am ready for it, except for here. here. Some in here. There, that resolves my oil issues for a while. Not nearly as much as I would have hoped. Apparently I am extremely reliant on my Arab subjects. Who would have thunk? Thankfully I'm working my way towards getting some of the more some states into there, to my sphere of influence. There we go. Just need to wait for this to finish up. And then suddenly, the steel industry will collapse completely. Which reminds me, I haven't actually updated the steel yet. I was supposed to do so a while ago, but I kept forgetting about it. This literally just changes out the wire for electronic components. But more steel production. I'm well aware of the fact that I will overproduce the stuff. Oh, I can change to the matrix process. Okay. Yeah, I'm fairly convinced that I don't need more steel production. So the whole recycling bit is going to be even funnier. So, basic pollution protection, environmental protection. Coal-fired plant, that's fine, I don't use that anymore, and no recycling. It's the active restoration that prevents me from using oil that's a bit trickier. Especially considering the reduction to throughput for a lot of things. It's the recycling bit that makes it useful. Oh, I can produce aluminum too. Which is good, I could use aluminum more. Paper recycling is also potentially a thing. Surprisingly enough, it's more effective, probably just from raw quantity. Plastics recycling. It's less productive. Also somewhat funny. It's not what I would have expected, that's for sure. Forgot, have I swapped all the tools to modern tools yet? I should look up, shouldn't I? Yes. The problem with the glassworks is that I need to turn on automation if I want to do that. I don't like turning on automation for multiple reasons. I should also build geothermal here. This is one location where I'm fine with hand assembly. Because Eritrea has volcanoes. Yeah. News to me too. So how does this look? You know, at this rate, I might actually finish the tech tree by 2000. I'm certainly going fast, that's for sure. I might get Neofin. I'm not sure what I'm going to get next in the society tree. Oh, finally, computers. And then I can turn on recycling. Of course, there's going to be some finagling, because options. Eventually, the most obvious is just to do mixed recycling. Since I could see a decent amount of every single one of these. But yes, I can produce computers now. From the chip foundries. It would probably be best to have an independent set, because for now computers aren't that useful. They will be in the future, that is for sure. Eventually I'm going to need to make a software industry for fun stuff. Chip foundry, there you go. Oh, I am so gonna need more than that. Oh, digital data optimization is available too. Oh, then I definitely need a software industry. Five computers, okay. So each one of these can use 7. Maybe lower it. Full manual coding. Yeah. Alright, I'll say this is a good point to stop the current session. You know, despite the fact that I've built a huge amount of universities, I'm still getting more money. I mean, you can tell by the spikiness. So, yeah, around here. And yet the gold reserves too tend to keep climbing. I still haven't gone below the limit yet. Despite losing 500,000 every week for a while there. Infamy is going down. The world is still slowly changing due to wars, but I have joined the UN and become a permanent member. Which gives me a boatload of prestige. It's also why the Pan-African Union is now rank 3. It's still going to take about 3 years for me to get my next principal. And it's questionable how long that will last, because the Philippines... It's pretty much only a matter of time before they declare independence. It's just the nature of decolonization. But I'm working towards trying to get the, well, various others into the group. The specific efforts remain for Council Republics, for obvious reasons. And any Council Republic can join in if they want. Though, of course, I need to generate leverage. Ah. If you wanted them in your... Oh, so they're already in a power block, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Korea also became a syndicalist federation. Universal suffrage, yep. And so I'm trying to improve relations over there too. Public. Yeah, just regular republic, okay. Of course, I do have limits on how many interests I have, and I can't exactly gain leverage in areas that I don't have interest, so... I'll might just drop Italy and towards the Andes. There we go. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to stop for the moment. At least the session. I'll probably continue right away. In real time, but, well. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Till then, bye.